guys, and welcome back to my channel. And so today I want to talk about a really important topic, um, and that topic is life after miscarriage. And I want to talk about that topic simply because Mother's Day just passed. It's been almost a year since I miscarried, and I don't know who my story may reach or how it may help someone get through, a miscarriage. So before we get into it, y'all, my throat is a little parched, so I have been drinking my H2O. So if you see me taking a little sippy sip, that means my throat is a little parched. So, but let's get into it. So last year on Father's Day, I experienced a miscarriage, and it was one of the most traumatizing events I have ever went through in my life. I remember the day before having some mild cramps, and I didn't really think much of it. I was sitting on the couch doing some homework, and I was feeling some cramps. I didn't say anything to my husband because I didn't think they were really severe. Um, but later that night, and again leading into the next morning, those cramps went from like a 2 to like a 10. So they were like at their peak. And so I remember rolling over to my left and my right side, just trying to find comfort so the cramps can stop. And unfortunately, again, they didn't. And so I remember my husband rolling over to me and asking me, did we need to go to the ER? And I remember telling him no, simply because, I'm just thinking that maybe they'll just go away. Maybe it was just something I was experiencing for a short period of time. And I'm getting up and I'm laying down, I'm getting up and I'm laying down, trying to see what can I do to stop the cramps. And I just gave in at one point. I just gave in, and I get up to go to the closet to get some clothes to put on so we can go to the ER. And I remember, like, the moment I hit the closet door, I started to miscarry. And I remember just running to the bathroom, screaming I had a miscarriage, and I'm miscarrying. And my husband ran to the bathroom too. He runs to the bathroom, and I'm crying, and he's crying, and we're both calling our moms, and they're both telling us the same thing. Well, you guys need to hurry up and get to the ER. And so we drive to the ER, and this car ride was like the saddest car ride I've probably ever been in. We are both just like weeping on the way to the ER. And so we get there, I immediately check in. They do the ultrasound, and of course they confirmed that I did have a miscarriage. And so, long story short, they didn't tell me what happened, not what happened, but why it could have been caused. And, I just left the hospital with, hey, here's, some self-care steps you need to take. If you experience A, B, and C symptoms down the line, come back, and so on and so forth. I think the most frustrating part is I went there with so many questions, and I didn't get not one answer. And so I didn't think that was common. I did not think that, when you go to the hospital, they don't tell you why you could have had, a miscarriage. And so I was super frustrated leaving. I remember just thinking like, this was a wasted trip, And so the car ride home, it's kind of crazy because I remember making a joke to my husband, trying to like lighten the mood just a little bit. And he gave me this look like, we did just lose a child. Like, what are you doing? And so, the first day, I guess it just didn't hit me as much as it hit him. And maybe because it was on Father's Day, and again, Father's Day is a day that fathers, honor being a father. And so I remember going home and I couldn't even go into the bedroom. I was traumatized that I literally just had a miscarriage in my bedroom / my bathroom. And so and again, we didn't even get to kind of sanitize and clean up everything before leaving, and so it's like we had to kind of leave and head over to the ER. And so we came home, and I did not even want to go into the room. I was so traumatized. I'm like, I'm not going in there. I'm gonna stay on the couch. And so that's what I did. I think I slept on the couch for like 2 days, and then I finally like muscled up the strength to go back into the bedroom. And I just remember just feeling like, oh, no one explains the pain that you feel after a miscarriage. It is unbearable, y'all. I was just in pain, like probably worse pain than I was in as I was having the miscarriage. And so I remember just crying for 2 weeks straight after I had the miscarriage. I was crying uncontrollably, like every single day I was crying. And so at this moment, it kind of switched. It was me more emotional than my husband. And so maybe I believe I was more emotional because I was actually feeling, everything physically going on. And so I didn't know if I was experiencing postpartum depression, anxiety, just centralized depression. Like I was confused. I didn't know if I wanted space, if I wanted comfort. It was just my emotions was just everywhere. And I remember buying a ticket to go home to see my dad. And immediately after I bought a ticket, I'm like, what did I just do? Like, I wanted to be around my dad because I knew he would console me. But I'm like, I just miscarried. I shouldn't be traveling on a plane. And when I thought of that, I had already bought the ticket. And so I even remember going home and just still crying and just crying every day. And I just felt like I made a stupid decision. Luckily, I did go home because unfortunately my father passed September of last year, which is a couple of days after I had the miscarriage. And so I feel like that worked out for the good of me, even though I felt like I shouldn't have not went home. I'm extremely glad I did go home. And so I want to talk about life now. So what am I doing to cope now? And so I've gotten into therapy. I've been going to therapy for about 4 months now, and it's been a super help. Our main focus is grief because that's what I've been through. That's what I've experienced. And so therapy has definitely helped me, and I want to say reaching out to people has helped me as well. I know a couple people that have had a miscarriage, and it was a couple people I had no clue had a miscarriage, and they're sharing their stories with me, and so that made me feel great that I wasn't alone in this journey. I feel like having a miscarriage is not talked about as much, and so having people that I can talk to and relate to was definitely good, and a good support system. I can't stress that enough. When I tell you my support system went above and beyond for me, it honestly opened my eyes. I had cards being sent to the house, had flowers being sent to the house, edible arrangements being sent to the house, and it was just an outpouring of love from so many different people. It was crazy. In that moment, I just was so thankful that I have good, genuine people around me that truly care for me, and so that really got me through. My supervisor, she texts me every single day for like 3 weeks straight, and I always tell her that I'm so grateful. Like I don't know what other way I can pay her back, but it was people honestly texting me every single day, and I'm just so glad I was open to receive that support because, like I said, in the midst of a miscarriage, sometimes you don't know what it is that you need and you don't know how to communicate that. And so I'm glad that I was open to receiving that. And so, like I said, I mean, of course, I don't know why I had the miscarriage, and I don't know why God only allowed me to spend 14 weeks with my child, but I know that things happen for a reason. And so I always get this question, when are you going to try again? What's next? You know, and I always say, I tell people that I want to heal first. So going through a miscarriage is mentally and emotionally challenging. And so, yeah, the finances may be there, but I want to make sure that my mental and emotional is taken care of. And for on Sunday, I heard a message, a Mother's Day message, and said, mothers have to heal from trauma, so that way they won't put their child through the same trauma that they've been through. And I feel like I want to heal from this grief. And that when I say heal from this grief, that doesn't necessarily mean that I won't ever experience grief. I feel like grief will always be there, but it's how you cope from it. But I want to heal from the fear and anxiety of it possibly happening again. And so that's where I am now. Do I hope to have children in the future? Of course. But I do want to continue going to therapy and getting all the tools that I need to continue progressing. And so I feel like I am in a okay space right now. And I'm just learning and I'm just growing. And so that way, when it is time for me to be a mom, I have went through what I, went through, and I can share my story with them. And so, you guys, that is my miscarriage story. And I hope it helped or blessed someone as much as when other people were reaching out to me, how their story blessed me. And so, y'all, until next time, bye.